Breaking today, extraordinary developments as the crisis in the British royal family grows, with Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, for the first time briefing their concern over King Charles's health. Now, this is being viewed as lining up in the future potential grounds for an abdication from the monarch. Now, to say that we're in unprecedented times is an understatement, of course. This afternoon, here in the United Kingdom, there has been a debate in Parliament about the misconduct of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, and of course, the strategy from the British royal family is to keep calm and carry on. We haven't seen King Charles now since the hours after Andrew's arrest, but Camilla, the Queen, emerged yesterday for a meeting with Giselle Pellicot. Now, she is the French victim of that appalling rape. And the idea from Buckingham Palace is to put the Queen front and centre with victims of sexual abuse. However, lots of people, of course, saying, well, yeah, but what about the Epstein victims? We're going to get into all of this very shortly with royal YouTube sensation Lauren the Insider, and there is so much to discuss, Lauren. But first, I just want to take you through this new piece of reporting from the Daily Mail, which is very significant to me in the development of all of this. There is the headline, branded and exclusive. William and Kate are concerned Andrew's arrest will hurt the King's health amid frustration that they can't speak out after hinting at turmoil at BAFTAs. A very loaded headline, that. And here's the article, which includes sources close to the couple. Prince William's diplomatic outburst about his own mental health at the BAFTAs was a sign of his, quote, deep frustration over Andrew's arrest, fears for his father's health, and his desire to say more. The Prince and Princess of Wales are clearly itching to further publicly distance themselves from the future King's errant uncle, a royal source has said. The couple are also becoming increasingly concerned about the impact Andrew's arrest is having on the King's health as he continues to fight cancer, another well-placed source claimed. He is exhausted and it's draining for him, they said. William and Catherine's glamorous appearance signalled a determination to put the royal family's difficulties to one side, but it appeared that issues around Andrew Mountbatten Windsor were not far from William's mind. William is frustrated because it's still likely to be a problem on his plate when he eventually becomes king, a royal insider has told the Daily Mail today. I'm sure the Prince and Princess of Wales have been itching to say something publicly to distance themselves, but they have to be cautious because of the police investigation. I think William and Kate are acutely aware that this is a scandal that won't be going away for a long time. It's a mess left by Andrew and the late Queen, and although His Majesty is very much in charge, William is frustrated. The Princess looks so elegant, but you can see that this is all causing strain, and that's the last thing she needs, the Mail source said. And while the Princess remains silent on the ongoing issues involving Andrew, royal sources have said the couple's main concerns surround the health of the King, who is still battling cancer. So this is new from William and Catherine. The source saying, obviously William is not feeling calm and he would have spoken on behalf of them both. It's a terrible situation and they are very concerned about the health of the King and the impact this will be having on him. He is exhausted and it's draining for him. Also, as parents of young children, to be reading all of this pretty awful, and they are clearly concerned. William let this slip out last during a conversation, and he would have done that on purpose. That is very clear, but Catherine has kept quiet. Now, that is, of course, referring to this very brief moment at the BAFTAs on Sunday, where William wanted to put out to the world, and it made all of the newspaper front pages, that he is not feeling calm. Now, that... And remember, you've got to very much look into the subtleties in terms of what royals say, because they often send a secret message. And the use of the word calm was a secret message, which was essentially trampling all over the current Buckingham Palace strategy, which is entirely based on the idea of keeping calm and carrying on. But this is what William said.
I haven't watched it.
Again,
last night. You need to be in a quiet state. You'll be in a calm state, but I'm not at the moment. I'll save it for when I'm feeling ready.
Lauren, the Insider, joins me now. Lauren, there's a huge amount to pick up on here, specifically from this briefing to the Daily Mail, which they have branded exclusive, given a very prominent place on their website. and quoted sources close to William and Catherine speaking of their concern for the king's health. Now, for a long time, of course, I have reported, Lady Colin Campbell has reported, that the king's health situation is incurable. It is terminal. We try and do so sensitively. Lady C reporting last week that a senior member of the British royal family had also conceded to her that the current drama around Andrew, the stress around that, was worsening his cancer. And of course, I have great human empathy for that, Lauren. Like, we know that stress is a terrible thing for someone who is battling the extremity of the cancer that the king is. But what's so different in this briefing today is that it's William and Catherine who are saying it, that they have never expressed concern via their sources about the king's health. And to me, it now is increasingly becoming clear, Lauren, that there is at least a path being made way for. I'm not saying immediately, and I'm not even saying in a few weeks' time, but there is a path being laid for this idea that the king may step down, may abdicate as a result of his health, rather than as a result, publicly at least, of what's going on with Andrew. What's your reading of this quite extraordinary new briefing today from William and Catherine?
Before we start, a quick thank you to our sponsor. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengatomars.com. Check the link below to claim the offer. Now to the story. Lauren the Insider joins us to break down the scandal currently surrounding the British royal family. With renewed attention on Prince Andrew and fresh allegations making headlines, pressure is building once again around the monarchy. We'll look at what's confirmed, what's still being discussed, and how this is affecting the wider institution. At the same time, Prince William and Catherine are facing growing focus as succession conversations intensify. How are they handling the pressure? And what does this moment mean for the future of the monarchy? Lauren shares her research and insight as we unpack the latest developments. Like this video for more royal updates. Subscribe so you don't miss the next report. Comment below with your thoughts on the future of the royal family.
Well, I think Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are they're very kind people. I don't think there's anyone that would want to see anyone going through cancer have any stress. So it makes absolute sense that they are trying to get their message across because they're compassionate people. But I do go back to the briefings that were coming from the palace in December, was that King Charles is doing really well. Now, obviously with cancer, many people will know that it can take dramatic turns and stress is not good for anyone, let alone someone that is battling cancer. But I do also have reservations that this is a narrative being used by the palace to ensure that we can't hold King Charles accountable for certain things and we're not able to question him. I know that there are lots of pro King Charles and pro Andrew people that are pushing certain narratives. So I approach this very cautiously. We do know that Prince William and Catherine have taken on a new PR. And they've been with them a few months now. Less is always more with William and Catherine. They do not brief a huge amount. They do not attend lots and lots of events. They are restricted by the palace. So you're absolutely right when you say there is always meaning with what they do and what they say. And when Prince William let it slip that he wasn't in a calm mood, the gravitas of this is huge because obviously talking about emotions and drama, that's something the royal family have never done. And Prince William has been at the forefront of really making the royal family much more relatable and human. And he was clearly expressing that the stress of everything is getting to him because these are deep institutional problems. And that's why when it comes to King Charles, I do question, without taking anything away from his health battle, how much stress is there? Did he really not know about any of this? Because all of the royal whistleblowers and insiders I've interviewed have said there are deep institutional problems whereby certain behaviour was, a blind eye was turned to it. And if they raised the alarm, there was a risk to that. You just don't speak out, not when you've got bills to pay. So I am cautious that there are certain narratives coming out, but I do think that William and Catherine are very kind people. So they will, of course, be worried about King Charles. He is William's father and he's Catherine's father-in-law, and they don't want to see him go through anything that isn't going to help him get better. But on the other side, King Charles has some big questions to answer.
And they're also, Lauren, looking very closely at a change in mood on both sides of the Atlantic. And that's something that William in particular is far more clued up on, especially with his new PR team. And here is just a little taster of royalists, monarchists, who are now out there openly in the mainstream media talking about the unthinkable, the idea that the king either needs to or will abdicate. Watch this.
The king might have to stand aside, and I genuinely have a way out for him, which is to say that his medical situation is the reason that he's doing that. We will all know it's for the good of the royal family, and they start with a clean slate with William and Kate. What do you make of that, pal?
Yes, I mean, a number of people have suggested that. I've suggested that myself. I think it may be the only way to clean up the stables and start afresh.
I don't think King Charles is going to survive this. I think he'll be gone within 6 months. I think that the official line will be it's due to his health. He'll use that.
Yep.
And William will ascend to the throne, which is what the British people want.